Okay, moving on to the second part of the assignment for week 2. This is Snackbar. So we're going to go to the Snackbar source code. Um, we're going to write a program that maintains a list of snacks available for purchase. So you make in the usual way, you run in the usual way. It's going to print out a whole bunch of information, and then the user gives a response to this prompt. Afterwards, it prints all of the snacks in this list of snacks, I guess, or whatever, containing a name, a cost, and a quantity. It'll then prompt for what snack would you like to buy, gives you some options for the code 012. You enter an integer code, and then it responds with you can't afford it if you can't afford it. And it responds with we are out of that if you pick something that has quantity 0. And it responds with you have bought this named item, and then reports the amount of money that you have left after you've spent it on that. So I guess this is kind of like simulating a somewhat the logic of like a vending machine. So anyway, we should define a struct snack. So you can't do this kind of from scratch, so to speak. You must define a struct, which is good. We want practice doing that. Your program should define at least 3 snacks and store them in an array. I might just do 2 because of laziness, but program should be similar to the given output, but feel free to customize it. So, okay. So let's come over here. Now I have already implemented this, and I guess if anybody wants to scan through and see what I've done already, then you can take a look at this solution, but otherwise I'm going to walk through the construction of the solution. There's going to be some I/O, so of course I need to include standard I/O. I'm going to do some string processing, so I probably want to include string library. And I don't know off the top of my head whether I need to do anything else, so I guess we'll leave it at that. Let's go ahead. We know the instruction said that we must make a snack struct, so let's go ahead and do that right now. So struct snack, which is going to contain the fields that it specified. So that's going to be a char star called name. There's going to be a float cost, right? Because we get decimal currency from Thomas Jefferson, and so that's got to be a float. Int quantity, that's an int, of course. Okay. Now that we have a snack struct, I tend to I mean, if you have a type of an object and you want to design how it standardly gets printed, I like to make a sort of 2-string function for that. So I'm going to say char star snack to string is going to have an input, a struct snack s. So what I would like to do, modeling this off of the printouts that we saw up here. Now these indices and the paren, I'm going to control with a for loop that loops over a list of snacks. So the integers I don't necessarily want part of the print. So I just want to print the name, what looks like maybe a tab, then the cost with another tab with the quantity and a line break. So to implement that, I'd like to, I guess, just return the sprintf, and so I want a format string. So I want to give the name, that's going to be a string, and then I want a tab, and then I want what to say that the cost is some quantity, which is going to be a float. In fact, I might want to say that it's a float with 2 decimal places, because if you don't specify that you want 2 decimal places of your float, then it's going to give you more than 2 decimal places, and that doesn't look good for the cost of an item. So 2 decimal places of my float, and then another tab, and then the quantity, which is going to be %d. And so then what fills this the slots are going to be s.name, s.cost, and s.quantity. And that we end there. Oh, right. I forgot that when defining struct, you need to end it with a semicolon. That's what has been causing that error message that I was wondering about, but not daring to speak about. But now it's gone, so that's great. And so, yeah, this returns a string effectively. Char star is basically a string, especially when returned by sprintf. Oh, right, and I want to finally give it a line break. But yeah, so that returns a string. And so there is my thing to take a snack and return a string corresponding to it. So now that I have that function, what do I want to do? I guess I want to jump into the main function. So this is int main, and right, I want to go ahead and create a list of snacks. So let's go ahead and say that I have a struct snack star s list, and that I would like to initially malloc the space necessary to have three. I'll go ahead and do three, I guess. Three snacks. And so that's going to be size of struct snack times, and then I want to populate this list. So let's go ahead and say that slist at 0 dot name is, and I'm going to give just some, I really don't want to spend any time thinking of clever names, so slist bracket 0 dot cost is, I'm going to say 0 dot 0, and slist bracket 0 dot quantity is, let's say 0, and slist bracket, actually, you know what, rather than retype so much of that, let's do that. And then edit this systematically and give it different names, and cost, and quantity, and cost, and quantity, and name. So I should now have a list of 3 snacks, and I now want to go ahead and prompt the user for this here. Can I just copy this and come over here and say printf message? Of course, I need to control that with a line break, but otherwise, let's print that message, scanf. Again, you could worry about exactly how the user is passing in input, and you might be worried about using the scanf function. I am going to do the laziest solution and just use the scanf function. So we are going to grab a decimal from the user. Oh, right, and I need to get the answer, right, I need to allocate space. So, oh, but I don't need to allocate space because this is not going to be a string. So what I need is I need to declare a function storing the amount of money, and that should be a float. So let's say float money is declared like that, and this should be a float. This is my amount of money. So, okay, so there I have retrieved from the user how much money they have. What next? I guess I need to print more information to the terminal. So I'm going to do a for loop over, right, I'm just going to go ahead and say 3. So we're going to say for. Int I is 0, I less than 3, I plus plus. I want to grab each snack from the list and print it with some coded options. So that means that I want to printf the format string with %d paren space the name. Oh, and then from here, give it the printer that I already designed up above. So the decimal is coming from the index I, and the string is coming from S to string with input, the snack, which was slist bracket. So that prints all of the options. I might want a further line break. So then let's say printf, and then what does it want me to say next? What snack would you like to buy? And then list the options. Okay, grab more response from the user, which is going to be scanf. And I guess I want a %d now that is going to go into, right? I should have some thing that's going to receive it. So let's say here, int, and this is code or something like that. And then that goes, right, and that should be and code because the way that scanf works is you have to give it the address. When it was a string, we didn't have to worry about that, but now that these are floats and right, these are not pointers, so you need to give it the address. And right, and so it is at this point when we should make a decision, and so that decision is what are the three possible responses? You can't afford it, so we check the price. It doesn't exist. I feel like I want to check whether it exists first for whatever reason. So let's check the quantity. So so we're going to use the code. The code is already the index in the list. So I want to just say if slist at code is 0. Oh, right. Yeah, of course. Slist code dot quantity. That fix it. There it is. Okay. If that is 0, then I want to print to the user, you can't afford it. I guess, do I want to return here? Which way is more elegant? I guess it's more elegant if I say else. So the quantity is not 0, and then I check to see how much it costs. So if it costs, so slist bracket code dot cost is greater than the amount of money, so that would be money, then print, or sorry, sorry, wrong place. We're out. Yeah, okay, I think that looks fine. And you can't afford it, and that, else. Print, you bought, and then %s. Oh, and that's a print, oops, f. You bought blah, which comes from slist code dot name, and let's line break that, and printf, or yeah, I guess why not just put it all in one line. And so you bought that, you have %f left, and I guess we could put a $sign there. And right, and again, 0.2 just for 2 decimal places, and that comes from slist code. And let's do that dot cost, and what this should be is money minus that. I think that seems okay. It does still need to return. This is my main function, right? Yeah. And so I do need to return 0. Is there anything I'm missing? I guess a line break there. And okay, what else? Anything else I'm missing? I think that seems okay. Let's see what happens if we make it. So we make, what was this, snack bar? Oh, it doesn't like something. Oh, right. I think maybe I have possibly an odd implementation or copy of the compiler. So whenever I want to malloc, I need to include standard lib. Let's do that. Okay, doesn't like something. Oh, am I misusing sprintf? Probably. Right. I think you need to put the char that you're printing out to. So let's maybe try char star out equals malloc size of char times, let's say, let's just be on the safe side and say 200. Couldn't possibly use that much, but there it is. And then let's say that out goes there. And we're not going to return that because that seems to return an integer, probably some code for the result. And then what I want to then return is out. Nice. And now dot slash snackbar. And how much money do I have? I'm going to say one. What would I like to buy? I guess I'll just go ahead and buy the 0 item and we're out, which makes total sense. Let's do it again. Let's say that I have 1 unit of money and what would I like to buy? 1. Can't afford it. Fantastic. And then let's say that I have 6 and I would like to buy, let's say 2, and you have bought that, and there's the amount of money left. Everything looks nicely formatted. I guess I could have put dollar signs in my print function, easy enough to fix, but I'm lazy. The end. Yeah, I think that's the end. The end.